God bless you. God bless you. We made it right back. We came right back. We had a bit of a technical difficulty, but we made it right back. This is a bit of phase 2 of our first session, but it's all right. Thank God for all of you all. Again, those of you that are still connected with us, click back in, send out some friend tags, and do the watch party. Let folks know that we're back to finish out today's broadcast by the glory of God. And so we just want to let you know we're encouraged. You stay encouraged, because this movement of momentum encouragement is not coming to an end. It's just still beginning for all of us, but especially for you. Come on, Brother Mario, take us back to where we were.
All right. Now, I left off talking about the disparities among different communities. So the last topic that I brought up was when it talks about limited access to healthy food, and this is from a study that was conducted by the Chicago Tribune. Again, white communities, 14.4% have limited to access to healthy foods. Hispanic communities, 12%. And then African American communities, 31.7%. So there's a wide gap there that we need to be aware of. So, again, with that battle being waged around us, just be knowledgeable that it's going to be a struggle. Okay, none of this is easy, but then if you think about it, what worthwhile really is. So, when we're talking about ways that you should eat and different strategies that you could utilize, there's something called the King, Prince, and Pauper method. So King, Prince, and Pauper. What does that have to do with? Now, we've talked about the alternative fasting method, which is the 16-8 routine. With the King, Prince, Pauper method, basically it breaks down your primary meals into segments. Breakfast, you eat like a king. Lunch, you eat like a prince. Dinner, you eat like a pauper. So your most significant meal of the day is going to be your breakfast. More moderate meal at lunchtime. And then at dinner, it's a lighter meal. Okay, now, of course, all these meals have to have healthy components on it, but it's another good way that you could utilize. Now, why is it that I'm eating more at the beginning of the day for breakfast? Well, that is going to be the foundation, the business, the benchmark, the primary energy source to power you through the rest of your day. So you want to have a nutritionally sound breakfast of ample size. You know, you're not eating a crazy amount of food, but enough to get you through the day. So you're not having those pangs of hunger where you just feel like, oh, I just gotta get that sandwich, that burger, whatever the case might be. So you start off with a healthy breakfast, a moderately compromised meal for lunch, and then for dinner, it's more of a lighter. So it's the opposite of what most people do, right? Most people, if they have a breakfast at all, it's usually something light. And then they have a pretty, decent sized lunch, and then they kind of go nuts at dinner. That's the biggest meal of the day. So this is the actual reverse of that. So that might be something that you want to consider. Never allow yourself to get hungry. Okay, because typically when you're hungry, that's when you're giving the cravings, and that's when you get off track. So always make sure you got some healthy options around that are easily accessible throughout the day, and that could be slices of vegetables. It could be some healthy nut snacks like almonds, those sorts of things. Just something that's a healthy alternative to that big meal. Okay, and that could even be a meal replacement shake. There's a lot of good ones out on the market. So I recommend that you maybe take a look at integrating that into your nutritional plan. Limit your consumption of cholesterol. Why? Because cholesterol consumption has a direct correlation with the stress hormone, which is known as cortisol. Okay, stress hormones play a big role in inflammation. Okay, so you want to make sure you limit your consumption of cholesterol dense foods, things like liver and fatty meats and shrimp. Another one is things like whipped cream, cheeses, butter, those sorts of things. You want to limit your intake of those sorts of things. All right, so those are some items that are going to help you out along your journey. One of the items that I use, and during our little inopportune timeout, I had a chance to grab this. But I use this when I work with younger individuals, particularly in classes and that sort of thing. And I teach them about how to prepare their plates. And one of the methods that I use, I basically take a styrofoam plate and I diagram it out. So this larger half, so I've taken this plate and I've divided it into segments. One half of the plate is basically where your vegetables are going to be. Okay? This top portion here, a quarter of your plate, is your protein source. Okay, here we're talking about things like your beef. Hopefully you can see this. your beef, lamb, poultry, fish, eggs, certain dairy products, those sorts of things. These are the building blocks of your body tissue. Okay, so you want, and these are energy dense, nutritionally dense food sources. On the bottom half here are your starches. Okay, your breads, your pasta, rice, potatoes, beans, couscous, that sort of thing. This is your source of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates in the body converts into glucose. This is the body's preferred fuel source. Okay, that's going to help in building muscle tissue and help to optimize your bodily function. So just use the plate as an example. Half of it is going to be for vegetables, a quarter of it for protein, and then your other quarter is going to be for your starches. Okay, your carbohydrate sources and that sort of thing. So this is a very elementary way of looking at it, but it's very helpful when it comes down to meal planning. Okay, when we're talking about actual foods that support a weight loss goal, I'm going to take your 3 primary meals of the day and break them down into food items that you can utilize to form the building blocks of your own meal plan. So let's start off with breakfast. A lot of people say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
That's right.
Now, does your experience as a power lifter support that?
Oh yes, I mean, especially if let's say if I want to do a morning workout.
Okay.
And then let's say a morning workout. And a morning workout with me probably be like 9 a.m. So that means I'll probably get up about 6 a.m. Now the reason why I get 6 a.m. for myself, I'll get about 6 a.m. so that I can have my meal at least an hour before my workout for proper digestion. And so what I would do on that workout, I would have a meal that's not so much high in protein, but high in a carbohydrate that gives me long-lasting energy. Like for myself, I really don't like to eat pancakes made out of white flour. I like pancakes, and anybody that knows me, I like pancakes made out of buckwheat flour or like a special, like a whole grain flour. Matter of fact, one pancake that I eat now that I love the most is called Kodiak cakes, and they're high in protein and they're made out of grains. And so, and they have a peanut butter flavor. And they have peanut butter mixed into the pancake. And so I eat that pancake if I'm going to have a workout. Just like yesterday, I had my Kodiak cakes. Well, when I ate that yesterday, I really wasn't hungry until again, probably, and I ate those about 9 a.m. I wasn't hungry till about maybe 3 in the afternoon. And I had like a little bit of a light bit of fruit and nuts, but that just kept me going on. Now, going back to that part what Mario said, I would eat that high carbohydrate, but proper carbohydrate meal for my workout. So by 9 o'clock, I'm going to be working out, and myself, I usually try to work out for about 2 hours. So my workout regimen, if I was in my powerlifting mode, would be 2 hours of my chest workout for my bench press, then going into my lats to help out with that, and my tricep work. So then from 9 to 11, I would work out. Then I would come back then after that workout, would have a meal of protein, a vegetable, and also another carbohydrate. Now this is something that I've heard and I've kind of tried to follow, and I'm going to ask Mario to help me out on this. That mainly when you start your workout, the carbohydrate that you would have would be a whole grain carbohydrate. But then after that, that post workout meal, you would have like a carbohydrate like a bread made out of white flour. In other words, they're saying that, I read this some time back, I forget what magazine, Muscle Fitness, like that, they're saying that that the white bread or that white flour is one that consumed that, it burns the energy faster or gives you a more quicker boost than that of the wheat flour, which in other words, that wheat grain flour would give you a long lasting energy, where that white flour gives you a quick burst of energy to soup you up after the workout. Is that kind of correct?
Absolutely. Things like your oatmeal, your wheat-based products, that's considered to be a slower digesting protein. Mm-hmm. It's a lot like whey protein. Mm-hmm. So there's different types of proteins that you can get for energy, for protein drinks and that sort of thing. It's a slower digesting protein, so it's going to digest and break down the body over a longer period of time. Whereas when you're talking about your white flour based products, then that's going to give you again that spike. So you're kind of coming down after that workout. Your body's depleted. You need to replenish things right away. Then that might be a better opportunity to integrate those products that are more of a white flour based option.
Right. Now let me just come back and just kind of break this on real quickly. So if I was doing that workout situation, again, the more of the whole grain kind of carbohydrate in the morning, maybe some eggs in that kind of capacity, and then after that my post-workout meal would be some type of chicken, maybe some type of fish, a grain, and then a carbohydrate. Then after that my snack would be maybe some fruit and maybe some nuts and raisins, mixed nuts and raisins in that capacity, and then I would have my dinner. And so that would be a workout regimen, somewhere between between 4 to 5 meals in that day. But just like Mario said, it would be from the king to the moderate to the pauper situation. That my biggest meal would be in the morning with breakfast, a moderate meal in the afternoon, a snack, and then the smallest meal and I would say that small meal would be high in protein and also be more in vegetable, less carbohydrate at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, let's dive into it. What do we eat? What kind of food items are going to make form the building blocks of a healthy meal? Let's start off with breakfast. I'm going to give you some food items that you can utilize for your own development of your own meal plan. So if you got paper and pencil ready to go, let's get into it. Breakfast, some good food items that you can include. Eggs. Okay, now, funny thing about eggs, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to eat the yolk. Okay, just the egg white. And in some cases that may be true, particularly if you're looking to watch your cholesterol levels. If not, and it's not an issue, then the entire egg is great because a lot of the nutrients actually come from the yolk, the yellow portion of the egg. Okay, so that's something that you want to include. Just be careful of how you season it. You know, a lot of people put a lot of salt on eggs and hot sauce, which is high in sodium and all kinds of weird things. So you want to avoid that.
Thanks, Mario.
Wheat germ is another great item that you can use. You can put that use as a topping on oatmeal. You can sprinkle it on your yogurt, mix it into a smoothie. There's a lot of different things that you can do. It's a great source of protein. So wheat germ is another one that you can integrate. Yogurt. Okay, again, be careful of yogurt because if you go by the dairy section and look at yogurt, there's some yogurts that are basically like creamified candy. Mm-hmm. So you want to watch out for that. So if it's got all these different flavors and that sort of thing, pay attention because it might not be as healthy as it was meant to be. So things like Greek yogurt or just standard, your Dannon, your Yoplait, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Those are usually good options and that sort of thing. Smoothies are fantastic. I like smoothies. I'm a big fan of them. But number one, because they're convenient. I can put them in a bottle and put them in a cooler or a fridge and have them ready to go. There's a ton of different varieties and recipes that I can utilize to make a good smoothie. So I can experiment a little bit, find maybe 4, 5, or 6 that I really like and have those ready to go. Berries are always a good option. When they're in season, maybe you like blueberries or raspberries or strawberries or whatever the case might be. Those are some really good options that you want to have. Grapefruit is wonderful. It has fat burning potential also. So grapefruit is a great healthy option. Kiwi and bananas. So those are my fruits that I'm running off into right now. So we're talking about grapefruit, berries, kiwi, banana. So integrate those into your breakfast. It's a great, and especially if you're on the go because it doesn't take much, especially if you're doing your pre-meal planning, just have them ready to go. You grab it, you get out, and you get started on your day. Chia seeds are very good. You can again use those as a topping for like a smoothie, yogurt, put it on oatmeal, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of nutritionally based health benefits that you get from adding chia seeds into your diet. Flax seeds is another one. I use flax seeds when I blend those into my protein drinks. So that's something else that you can consider. Coffee. Okay, there's been some debate about that. Coffee is an excellent source. It's going to help you to burn fat. It's going to boost the metabolism. It's going to give you an energy boost. Now, the thing about coffee is what you do with it.
But can I ask this?
Of course.
Does it help with digestion?
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Mm-hmm. There have been studies that have been conducted that shows that coffee consumption is beneficial to the gastrointestinal tract. So coffee does aid in digestion. So that's another benefit. The problem comes in when you talk about what you do with the coffee. You add in all the creamers. You add in all the sugars, all the flavorings, like when you're the typical Starbucks consumer, when they go in and they're getting the whipped cream and the caramel and the double shots of the flavorings and all that. And you look at, and Starbucks will post the nutritional content of, so you know what you're getting in your beverage. So by the time you get done with your drink, you might have a 300, 400, 500 calorie drink. Yeah. You might as well stick a Snickers bar in the blender and drink that. So, watch out for that kind of. You got to be careful about that. So we're talking about coffee, and I know a lot of people don't like it. but it is black coffee that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything you add to it detracts or takes away from that nutritional benefit that you're going to get from it. One of the tips that I use when I'm talking about weight loss for myself and for the clients that I work with, black coffee right before cardio. You're going to burn off more calories that way.
True.
You're going to burn more fat that way. So consider doing it. I know if you're used to the sweetened coffee and that sort of thing, it's a big change. But you can train your taste buds to do anything. Okay? So give that a shot.
I'm sorry. I want to throw this in because when Mario said that, usually on the days that I start doing cardio now, I don't eat. My breakfast is, and this is just, somebody might say that might be bad, but for me, my breakfast mainly is coffee. And so I just don't like black coffee. So I do add cream with it, but no sugar. I just go with some cream, black coffee, and trust me, when I get into that cardio mode, I'm there. And it is a beautiful beautiful mode. So let me tell you all something. The man is on his cue. So listen to that. Follow.
Thank you very much. Last 3 items that you can include in your breakfast options. Back to that green tea, okay, oatmeal, and then nuts. Things like your, like I said, your healthy ones, your almonds, for example, okay. But you want to focus on 1 ounce at a time because just like anything else, anything done to excess can have detrimental effects. So those are some breakfast items that you could include. When we're talking about lunch, basically we're looking, especially if we're talking about weight loss, we're looking between 400 and 500 calorie meals, okay. In terms of your macronutrients, and I'm going to get into that toward the end of this broadcast, 15 to 20 grams of fat, 20 to 30 grams of protein, and then 15 to 60 grams of carbohydrates. So that's what we're looking for when we're talking about building an optimal lunch, okay? 8 or more grams of fiber should be included in that diet. That's possibly the most important or significant ingredient in your diet. It's going to aid in digestion. It's going to give you a feeling of fullness. It's going to provide that satisfied feeling so you don't get the cravings later in the day before you have a chance to make it to dinner, okay? Whole eggs, like I talked about that, a lot of people will utilize whole eggs and put those in salads, which are a great lunch option. So you might want to consider having a salad for lunch and integrating or including whole eggs into that salad. Okay, your leafy greens, things like kale and collards, Swiss chard, romaine lettuce, those sorts of things. Salmon, which is very high in omega-3 fatty acids. They have been shown to reduce inflammation, which is the cause of a lot of health concerns. So salmon is a great product to have. And again, inflammation contributes significantly toward obesity and certain metabolic disorders. Okay. Other options would be mackerel and trout, sardines, herring. These are all good fishes that you can include in your diet and make for wonderful lunch options. Let's see. Cruciferous vegetables. So these are basically things like broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. So when you think about something that's cruciferous, it's basically like when you think about the way broccoli is made. You've got a stem, you've got a bud, and then you've got a bunch of little buds around it. Okay, that's kind of like the way broccoli is made, cauliflower looks, Brussels sprouts look. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about cruciferous vegetables. So you want to include those in your diet as well. They're going to be high in fiber, and they're very filling. So that's another benefit to including those vegetables within your diet. Lean beef and chicken. Okay, you can't go wrong with that. All right, so make sure that anytime you get lean cuts of meat, the fat is trimmed off of it prior to cooking. Okay, boiled white potatoes, high amounts of potassium located within your boiled potatoes. When they also aid in blood pressure control. They're very high on the satiety index, which is basically how filling a food will allow you to feel. Okay. Once you allow them to cool, they form high amounts of resistant starches, and that helps to have benefits like weight loss. So boiled potatoes is another good item that you might want to include. For dinner, a lot of the same food items that you can include in your lunch. I'm going to include some other ones. Squashes. Now, what I'm talking about are your yellow squash, your zucchini, those sorts of, your butternut squash. I'm going to let you in on a little tip. I happen to really enjoy pasta. However, pasta is not beneficial when you're talking about maintaining or losing weight. So what I started doing is converting squash into basically noodles. I've got a device at home that will allow me to turn those squash into pasta-like strands, and I use that in place of spaghetti or fettuccine or any of the other pastas that are out there, and I put my toppings on it, and I got a great meal. But I'm getting a much more nutritionally dense and beneficial meal because I'm using squash as the basis for the pasta. It's basically replacing the pasta. So that's something that you can integrate. Sweet potatoes are fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, some people call them yams, whatever the case might be. Lentils, they are very conducive to helping to reduce high levels of LDL cholesterol. LDL is the bad cholesterol. So there's two types of cholesterol. There's LDL and then there's HDL. LDL is the bad cholesterol. That's what you don't want. Lentils help to reduce those levels. It can also be very beneficial in reducing your systolic blood pressure. So blood pressure is made up of two components. There's systolic and diastolic numbers. The systolic is the number on top. Basically, how hard is the heart working to pump blood throughout the body. So that's going to help to reduce that. Your beans and your legumes, things like chickpeas and navy beans and pinto beans, black beans, kidney beans, soybeans, even peanuts fall within that legume family. So you want to integrate those into your healthy dinner options. Turkey breast. I'm a big fan of turkey chops. That's another great option. Very lean, very protein dense. Steak. Steak is not a bad thing. Okay, it's an excellent protein source. Again, you want to make sure it's trimmed to the excess fat and it's prepared properly. Grilling is best. Broiling is another good option. You want to avoid frying steaks, obviously. And then, again, fish options, which are great when you're talking about dinner. All right, so before I move on, anything else?
Keep going, man. We're good.
That? All right, we're getting toward the end. I'm going to share a few tips that I utilize personally to help me stay on track and stay focused. Number one, I pre-plan all my meals. Okay, I have the benefit of not being, I have no problem with leftovers, so that helps me a lot. The other benefit that I have is I like to cook. I don't mind doing that at all. I cook 3 times out of the week. I cook on Sundays, I cook on Wednesdays, I cook on Fridays. The rest of the day I'm eating leftovers from those meals that I prepared. How does that help me? I don't have to worry about running around. What am I going to eat tonight? And a lot of times if you're tired at the end of the day, you don't feel like cooking. So what are you going to do? You're going to gravitate toward the path of least resistance. So that means I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick up something quick. Usually the food that I go out and pick up quick is going to be the food that's not beneficial to me. So by preparing those meals in advance, I've got them ready to go. All I got to do is warm it up. Okay, so that helps me a lot. Pre-planning my meal, so I know what I'm going to be eating throughout the week. I like to be very structured with my diet. I'm not recommending that everyone does, but if you got a goal that you're very focused on, the more structured, the better. Because quite honestly, when you got too much leeway and too many options that you can go and too many directions that you can take, you tend to get off track. All my diets, what I eat, is basically very structured. I know you're not going to be able to read this, but I break everything down from my breakfast, my mid-morning snack, my lunch, my midday snack, my dinner, my evening snack. I've broken everything down by all my macronutrients, which are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. I even include the caloric intake of each of the food items that I'm taking in. This is what works for me. You got to find out what works for you. But for me, this structure is what I need to have to keep myself focused. So you got to find out what works best for you. The other thing that I do, one of my best friends that I have is a cooler. And you can kind of get a good shot. It's not a huge cooler. It's just the right size for any food items that I want to have with me throughout the day. I'm going to make sure I got an ice pack in here and I've got my food ready to go, because when I don't have it with me and I get hungry, Lord knows, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have that drive, that desire, that urge to pick up something quick. And again, that's not going to be the best option for me. So a small cooler like this, and you fill it with your water, your protein drinks, your healthy food that's in Tupperware bowls. Keep that stuff in here and you're ready to go. So even if you don't have access to a fridge, okay, you still got food that's going to be beneficial, nutritionally sound, and it's ready for you. Prepare your own food. Get in the habit, or start, even if you don't, you're not a big, you're not a great chef. Maybe you don't cook all that well. You can learn. Because when you prepare your own foods, you control the content and the way that that food is prepared. You prepared you're controlling the ingredient that it's cooked in. You know, are you frying it? If you're frying it, are you using vegetable oil or canola oil or coconut oil or olive oil? You're controlling how much seasoning and what types of seasoning go into those foods. How the food is refrigerated. Everything about it is under your control. You're not at the mercy of some one unseen person in the back of a restaurant. Okay, so get in the habit of doing that. That's been a great benefit to me. Get in the habit of reading your nutritional labels. Okay, a lot of times it can be a little bit daunting, but once you get the hang of it, you start to understand it. What is a serving? That's going to be listed on the back side of any product that you find on a store shelf. It has to be, it's an FDA requirement. So I can look on the back and I can find out what is a serving. In fact, on my Facebook page, which is Vanguard Exercise Management, I use the example of M&Ms. Okay, and a serving of M&Ms. So, you know, in fact, I even had a person one time. I actually had a client. I asked him the question, "Do you eat any beans or nuts or anything like that?" And she said, "Well, yeah, I eat peanut M&Ms." So
Merry Christmas, everybody.
So what she did not, and she would consume these things quite a bit. You know, really having the thought that, well, there's a peanut in the middle, so it's got to be good for me. I know it sounds ridiculous to some of you, but that's actually the way some people think. And that you have to deal with that sort of thing. So just to elaborate on what a serving size is, a serving size of M&Ms was like 16 M&Ms. Okay, and I had those laid out so you can actually see them. It's not an entire bag. Okay, it's those 16 M&Ms. Okay, so you need to be cognizant of what's in those products. Read those labels. It's going to tell you what's a serving, how much fat is in there, how much sodium is in there, how many total calories, all those, your total carbohydrate content. It's all in there, and you need to be aware of that. Again, focus on the macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are all considered to be macronutrients. Those are the nutrients that you need in larger quantities for optimal function of your body. Underneath that are your micronutrients. You don't really need to be quite as concerned because they're trace elements that you get out of the foods that you eat. Things like zinc and potassium, copper, those sorts of things, all right? But at least be aware of those and be alert to the fact that a lot of times low-fat or low-calorie products aren't necessarily good for you,
right.
Okay? Because a lot of times low-calorie means high-fat.
Yeah.
Low-sodium might mean high-fat, high calories. So a lot of what food manufacturers do, and they're very clever about this stuff, they know that you ain't going to buy something that don't taste good. Salt is a trigger. It tastes good. It makes food more flavorful. Sugar does the same thing. So if we replace one, we got to substitute it with the other. So we're going to pull out the salt, yeah, but we're going to add some fat in there because fat has flavor in it. But we can still market it as a low sodium product. Okay, we're not saying low sodium and low fat because that fat's in there. We got to make it appealing to the consumer, and that's what you're faced with when you're on those store shelves buying your food. So keep that in mind when you're doing your shopping. Some other tips that I utilize: try cooking with coconut oil. Okay, now not every meal, but it's a great way to get some additional nutritional benefits. So swap out that vegetable oil and try coconut oil as your base when you're cooking your food and preparing it. There was a study found in an article called Pharmacology, found that 2 tablespoons per day reduced the waist circumference of participants by an average of 1.1 inches over the course of a month. Okay, now a month might seem like a long time. 1.1 inches might not seem that big, but trust me, it's significant. And when you factor that over the course of maybe 6 months, think about 6 inches. If you could lose 6 inches off of your waist, how would that change the way that you feel about yourself or the way that you look?
Watch out now. Think
about that coconut oil. Consider adding a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to your dressings, your marinades, your sauces. Okay, there's been a lot of talk about apple cider vinegar and its benefits, and trust me, there are a ton of them. So yes, apple cider vinegar is a great way to go. The benefits are numerous: weight loss, reduced belly fat and waist circumference. It's going to help to lower your blood triglycerides, the amount of fat that's located in your blood. In fact, there was a study that was published in Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry that found that obese Japanese individuals, this study was conducted with Japanese, obese individuals, folks that found, or participants that participated, it found that of those that participated in the survey, that consumed 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar over the course of a 3-month period lost an average of 2.6 pounds. And those that consumed an average of 2 tablespoons per day lost an average of 3.7 pounds over the same course of time. Okay, so that's just a simple way that you can utilize to help and aid in your weight loss journey, if of course that's a goal for you. Try seasoning your foods. This is another one. Again, I'm getting into the food prep. Garlic or garlic powder, excellent sources of health benefits, and there's a ton of them. Number one, it's going to help to reduce your body weight and your body mass index for individuals that don't suffer from something that's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFDL. Okay, so it's going to help to reduce that. It has been shown that the consumption of garlic can reduce or support blood sugar metabolism. It helps control the amount of lipids that are in the blood. Lipids are basically fats. Okay, eating garlic can help to boost your immune system in this COVID-19, this coronavirus environment that we're living in. Who doesn't want to have some additional immune support that they're building in your bodies?
That's right.
Garlic powder are great ways to include that and introduce it into your body. It helps to ward off heart disease. Okay, so that's another key factor. It helps to fight inflammation, which again is a huge source of ailments within the body. It increases memory retention and lowers blood pressure. So garlic and garlic powder got a ton of benefits that you can utilize. All right, so these are just some tips, some strategies that you can use in your weight loss journey. When it comes to eating right, that I acknowledge the fact that it is tough, but you can do it. You need to do it, and you can do it. So I support you on that goal, and any assistance that I can provide, I would be more than happy to do so. If you reach out to me, and I'm going to give the contact information to the end. One of the things that I do is I will generate meal plans for individuals. These are all customized, and it's based on your own physiological needs. I'm going to break down each meal, the amount of macronutrients that you're going to be taking in, the amount of calories, toward whatever your goal is, whether it's weight loss, weight maintenance, or in even some cases, weight gain. Okay? So, can we get in our winners? I think we got.
Man, let's get these winners in.
All right. Our last broadcast, we mentioned that any new subscribers or followers to the Instagram page for Vanguard Exercise Management, or new likes on the Vanguard Exercise Management Facebook page, would be eligible to win their very own fitness tracker. Okay, and got a couple right here. So I did go ahead and pull a couple of names, one for a new Instagram follower and one for a brand new Facebook page liker. All right, so our winners for today are Janice A. Knox.
Janice!
All right, congratulations, Janice. We have got a fitness tracker for you, and I'm going to contact you and reach out and get your contact information so I can have that sent out to you. So thank you for being a new page follower, and we hope you're getting a lot of benefit out of the information.
Congratulations, Janice.
Yes, that's provided on the Vanguard Facebook Exercise Management page. Our Instagram winner is Larice Jones.
All right, Larice.
Larice, congratulations. So she is also going to be receiving a fitness tracker that's going to help in that weight loss journey, tracking your steps, heart rate, calories burned, all that good information. So hopefully those benefit you. Thank you for being a part of the family.
Thank you so much.
And we really appreciate you. And we're going to be selecting some more winners also.
Congratulations again, Larice.
Yes, so continue to recommend people to follow the pages, to watch the broadcast and that sort of thing, because I'm going to be selecting 2 brand new winners during our next broadcast next week, when we talk about our next subject. So looking forward to doing that as well. So keep sharing that information and keep following us on our pages. So with that, any other closing thoughts, topics?
Well, we want to start to get everybody ready, because we're getting ready to do a great thing coming up in the month of September that is getting ready to take place very, very soon. For those of you all that are saying, you know what, we've been coming in every single week, we've been listening on Wednesdays, we've been hearing all this great information, we've been getting motivated, we're knowing how, what we got to do, we got to exercise, we got to eat right, we got to get ourselves ready. Well, guess what? We're getting ready to set off a next phase that will help you even more that we can do a together workout session that Brother Mario will be conducting and leading along the way. And what we're going to do, especially during this COVID situation, for the month of September, our goal, as long as weather is permitting and everything is in right and everything is doing well, we're going to have outdoor sessions coming in the month of September on every Saturday at 2 p.m. So starting on September the 5th, we're going to block off a certain area here in our parking lot. Hallelujah. And we're going to just let people come on in that are going to register. And Mario will give more information on how to register for that. That we'll be coming out, having outdoor workout time together coming into the month of September. And so we'll be here at the Fulfilled Purpose Church International parking lot, amen, area, and at 525 East 103rd Street on 103rd in Rhodes in Chicago, Illinois. And so we're going to ask everyone to come on out. We'll connect with Mario so that we'll have you registered. We'll know who you are. You'll come on out, and you'll, Mario will let you know all the different things that you need, especially, well, I'll just say this, your face mask. You need to come out, at least come out with the face mask. Then also for your workout mats and those things in your watering situation, that we'll come out together and have a workout time so that even when it gets to get a little bit cooler and we might not be able to connect, you will have a workout regimen that you can deal with from your home until things get a lot better. Let alone we're going to work out as well, and I believe my brother Mario and I will go work out things that even when we have to come back on Facebook Live and do videos and have also workout videos on different aspects and different areas that could be a blessing to you. But September, starting on September 5th, every Saturday in the month of September from at 2 o'clock p.m., we'll be having a gathering that you can come on out. So I said, I don't know, I need some help, I need some motivation. Well, come on, we're going to come out together and get the ball rolling starting in the month of September.
This is going to be an excellent kickoff because we do want to see people getting active. We do want to see you exercising safely and properly, utilizing all the appropriate muscle groups and utilizing the right movements and that sort of thing so that we're preventing injury so that you're getting the optimal benefit from your workouts. And it's a great lead into what we're going to be doing going forward because obviously we're in a coronavirus atmosphere and environment, but this is going to lead into in-person workshops and seminars. When we're talking about different topics and you're getting this information face-to-face, you're getting the most pertinent and factual information. It's in basically a classroom setting. So not only are you exercising, you're getting that body strength and you're strengthening the mind as well, because we want to make sure that you have all the tools in the tool chest that you need in order to be successful. And that, again, is not just the exercise portion of it, which is completely significant and very important, but you have to have that knowledge base to go along with it. And I want to teach you all the tricks of the trade and the things that you need to know in order to be as successful as possible, because optimal health is the overall goal. So having said that, in order to, and I'm going to post some information up on both the Vanguard Exercise Management Facebook and Instagram pages, so you can go ahead and get registered. I'm going to have a description of what's going to be taking place. I just need you to provide your information, contact information, that sort of thing. So all the details will be provided both for the exercise classes and the in-person seminars and workshops. So again, you can reach out to Vanguard Exercise Management by typing in that name, Vanguard Exercise Management, and that is the Facebook page. Go ahead and like it. You'll automatically receive all the information that is associated with the business. Also on Instagram, it's Vanguard MGT. That's Mark George Thomas, and then the number 1. That is our Instagram page. You can also send an email to vanguardmgt@yahoo.com, and that is the email address with any questions, comments, concerns that you may have regarding the kind of information that we provide to our individuals that follow us. So thank you very much for continuing to watch. We're looking to continue to grow this. Please feel free to share. And if you have any questions about anything that we've covered in this broadcast or the previous 2, feel free to drop a line. Be happy to address that with you.
Yes. And we will also be posting information as well about our fitness classes on the Fulfilled Purpose Church International Facebook page as well. So those of you all that's connected with Fulfilled Purpose Church International on our Facebook, we will have that out there as well. So people, hey, it's going to be out there. Also, we're going to also have a table open on those days for prayer. If anyone wants to just, even after the workout, you have some things, prayer needs, we'll be there to just pray for you as well and to encourage you in the Spirit of the Lord, to let you know everything's going to be all right. In your faith, in your finances, in your fitness, you're going to walk out blessed in this season. This is not the end for you. This is the beginning for you. And a blessing is connected to you as you stay faithful in God's will and build your temple for the glory of the Lord. Bless you.
All right. Don't forget, next week, same time, same channel, Wednesday of next week at 12 o'clock noon, which is I'm not sure of the date of next week.
That should be the 2nd.
Okay, sounds about right to me.
Yep.
So our topic is going to be building a healthy immune system. You definitely don't want to miss this one, particularly in the environment that we're in right now. We're going to teach you some tips and strategies that you can utilize to strengthen your immune system in a healthy manner.
That's right.
And an effective way, so you can prevent not just building an immunity against the coronavirus, because that's getting all the attention right now, but there are a slew of other detrimental health effects that are out there that you want to make sure that you're guarding yourself against. So we're going to be talking about building a healthy immune system next week.
That's
one
right.
week from today, and we're looking forward to see you at that.
That's
time.
right. And grape Kool-Aid is not a part of it. So just remember. All right. Just joking, everybody.
All right. So live from Fulfilled Purpose Church International, I'm Mario Koonce. This is Pastor Bishop Smith. Again, we were glad to have you here. Hope you got something informational out of here and some tips that you can use. And we will see you next time.
Share, like, spread the word. We're looking to see you next week. Love you. God bless you. Bye-bye.